So no matter where you work, there's always going to be a level of office politics at play. Even if your colleagues are quite friendly, there's still some level of strategies and things that you need to mind if you want to be successful at your office. Well, the strategies I used were basically what came out of my personality, so I didn't put much deliberate thought into them back then. But in my 10-year career in large companies, in consumer goods, in electronics, I worked in companies where there were like 2,000 employees and they were all at each other's throats trying to undercut each other. I was also in companies that everyone was smiling on the outside, but then on the back of their minds, they were trying to undermine everybody else or thinking about their next step and how they can make themselves more successful. And I succeeded in each and every one of them. In this video, I want to share with you what I did. I came up with 3 rules actually that helped me succeed in any of those environments. And I'm going to share with you my story of how I succeeded at office politics at every company, regardless of its culture. Stay with me. So rule number 1, the most important thing, make sure you deliver. When you promise to do something, do it. Do it in time. Don't have any excuses. If you think you're falling behind, let the person know before it is time so that they can plan for that as well. And try to be one step ahead. Try to think how you can make it better. Overpromise and over-deliver. Don't under-promise and over-deliver. That's a cliche that I hate. It will always keep you on the same level. You have to promise big and deliver bigger so that you can grow faster in your company. I'm not ranting about that. Always deliver on your promises to anyone, whether it's your job performance or whether if you promised Mr. X that you're going to do so and so for them. Rule number 2, never take sides. Well, I never did. I'm neutral. Even when I played The Witcher, I always played it as neutral, and it sometimes bites you, but you gotta do something that's very key here. When you're sitting with one side, for instance, the finance team does not like the sales team. Don't go to the finance team and talk bad behind the sales team. Don't go to the sales team and talk behind the back of the finance team. What you need to do is to go there and show sympathy. And by sympathy, I mean, all right, I understand your job is difficult. I understand that when payments are delayed, you in finance will have to go through a lot, and what impact that will have on you. Especially look for personal impacts. What impact has it personally for you? Label it. Tell them that, oh, this must be very frustrating. So, and then weave in your own story. I'm trying to do this, and this will result in so and so. We will get more money, and this will help you. When you go to the sales team, you can tell them, oh, these financial terms are very difficult. You cannot sell as much as you want with all these difficult restrictions in place. How are you doing this? You must be very good at your job, and it must be very stressful for you. Well, I have this plan. We can do this and do this to help you do that. See what I did there? You have to be sympathetic, and you have to show that in a genuine way, not like, all right, yeah, I know it's difficult. Now, I want you to do this. And that will always backfire. The person, even if they do what you're asking them to do, will not going to put a lot of thought and effort into it, and they may not deliver in time. So rule number 3, make it a win-win. If you paid close attention to the examples that I just narrated for you, I was telling the finance guy that I'm going to do this, and in the end, it's going to help you do your job even better. I'm going to do this, and the boss asked me to personally come to you. Now, the boss has no idea I'm talking to this guy, but the boss knows that he is a key part in my business here, in what I'm trying to achieve here. And when it's achieved, don't take it all for yourself. Always in front of that person, or somehow in a way that they will realize, compliment them in front of your boss. Play them up. Say, all right, this was a great achievement, but I achieved this working in tandem with Tommy and Susie from finance and sales. And without their effort and input, this wouldn't have been possible. Well, your boss will like that you're collaborating with others. You've delivered the result that you were supposed to. So you're talking yourself up as well as them. And since they see that there's something for them in there in the future, they will be more open to any request that you have, and somehow you will be the good guy in the office, which you are if you're doing this. Now, my personal story here, I became the supervisor for the most important product in the company. It was a tea business, and I had to work on top name brands like Twinings, and it was very difficult being promoted that way, because in a company it's not just your boss that should promote you. The other parts of the company should accept you for who you are. For instance, there was this person who was the father of tea in my company, and he had the say in how the tea was blended. He had the say in if we can go ahead with a new blend, new product, etc., etc. So I had to win with it. The first time I went to him as a supervisor, he looked at me and he was all, "Art, who's this guy? Why should he be promoted here?" He didn't accept me. But by working with him the way that I just mentioned, by just showing to him that I'm very grateful for what he's putting into this plan, and I'm not shying away from showing everyone else, all right, he made this happen. I just came up with the idea and his input made it even better. By day zero, the day that I was leaving the company for a better position, he told me that if any time I wanted to open any business in tea, he would be more than happy to work with me. And that meant the world to me, you know? So I had much similar experiences in other jobs that I'd worked in. And I think these 3 rules will basically work in any situation. So thank you very much for sticking with me until this part of the video. To thank you for that, I'm gonna share with you a secret rule that will benefit, especially if you're starting at the bottom of the ladder, fresh from university. Always speak your mind in meetings and everywhere. So I was always having ideas on how to proceed, or if someone's opinion was not as well fleshed out as they thought it would be, but I never openly said them. I always said that to my boss in private because I was afraid I might hurt their feelings. And that actually hindered my progress in the first 2 companies that I was working for. My boss pushed me, said, "Say it to yourself. Why are you whispering that in my ear? Why aren't you saying this in the meeting? Say that for yourself." But there is a key. I'm not the type of person who likes conflict, and that's why I was avoiding that. The way I approached it was always began with complimenting the person for coming with that idea and saying how wonderful it is. But how about this challenge? Or what if we did it in a different way? Would you think that would make a difference? Would you think that would have a bigger impact? Would you think that we can overcome this challenge by doing that? And this all ties into the first rule, you know, always deliver. If you want to deliver, you have to stay on top. You have to be thoughtful. You have to study. You have to talk to people, network, to always have those ideas at the palm of your hand. So whenever time comes for you to speak, you can use them and show what you're made of. So thank you again for sticking with me here. It will always take some practice. You can't turn these rules into reality and apply them successfully overnight. But just keep them at the back of your mind and try to apply them slowly. You will get there. I promise you. Thank you again for listening to me today, and hit the like button if you like what I said, and subscribe to my channel so that you can hear more of what I think. I would love to hear from you in the comment section, whether you have any questions about this, whether you have any opinion, or whether you think there are other things out there, other subjects that you're interested to hear more from me on them. I would love to read them and pick your brains on anything that you mentioned there. So thanks again. See you again on the next video.